Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. I hope you guys are having a lovely day today. I am not going through my usual r/anti-MLM Reddit reading video. I am instead talking about some drama that has occurred within the anti-MLM YouTube/TikTok community, and it was just something that I wanted to discuss because I thought that it was important to just talk about and analyze the situation a little bit. So anyways, this video is scripted, so if it sounds different than my usual stuff, it's because I'm not just talking out of my ass as I usually do. It's me actually reading a script that I wrote, and that's also why this video is a little later than I expected, because it took me a while to write, because I'm also working on school and just working in general, so things are a little busy. But anyways, let's just jump into the video. This intro is too long already. So I was originally planning on making a video about Jessie Lee Ward's quote-unquote hike from hell, but I decided on making this video instead because, firstly, I feel like this discussion is far more relevant to the community as a whole, but also everybody and their brother has already made videos about Jessie Lee Ward's hike from hell, so I figured that I would skip it for at least this week. If you guys still want me to make that video, then let me know in the comments and I'll do it, because I feel like it's an interesting topic, but I figured that this one would be a little bit more niche and I feel like not enough people are covering it, so here I am covering it anyways. So for those of you who don't know, Jessica Hickson was a former successful It Works distributor who started creating anti-MLM content here on YouTube. She has an interesting perspective in her commentary videos, as she was someone who used to be successful in multi-level marketing. Recently though, she's been criticized by other anti-MLM and anti-scam creators on both YouTube and TikTok for using and promoting deworming products. So if you're like me and your first thought was, what the fuck, let me explain. Deworming is a health trend going around online, mostly on TikTok, where people are claiming that many people have intestinal worms and are unaware of the fact, and are promoting various deworming products, whether they be from the drugstore or from shady shops online. People have reported finding quote-unquote worms in their waste. However, most doctors online believe that these worms are either pieces of undigested food, as these deworming products usually have a side effect of diarrhea, or even scarier, the mucus lining of your intestines. The reality is, however, if you live in a country like the US, where Jessica and I both live, these types of parasites are very uncommon, and even if you do have them, it is much safer to get checked out by a doctor than buying something that can potentially damage your intestinal lining. I'll link some articles below about this if you want to read up on it more, but fair warning, it is really gross and not for either the faint of heart or the faint of stomach. So yes, Jessica Hickson has posted several videos of herself talking about her experience using deworming products and even being gifted products by one of these deworming companies.
The type of fast that I did was a 3-day water fast. So this time I made it all the way until I had an hour left of my 3-day fast. I picked up my family some Chick-fil-A because I was like, I don't want to go home and cook food and want to eat it, so we're just gonna have Chick-fil-A. So I ended up smelling the Chick-fil-A because I always smell my husband's food to like make sure it still smells the same. Well, when we got the Chick-fil-A into the car, normally it's like almost vomit style for me because it smells so bad, but it didn't smell bad. And he was like, try it. And I was like, but I don't want to break my fast. I have an hour left. And I told myself I was going to do this. Anyways, he talked me into trying it. I was able to eat Chick-fil-A, which is like my holy grail. But something happened afterwards that I was not prepared for. I did not know this was a thing. I did not know this could happen. I'm not going to be uploading a picture, mainly because it's like, oh, I don't know, a literal picture of my butthole, which I'm not willing to show online. But a lot of you guys were asking like which one I bought, and honestly, I just went to Walgreens and I got the first one that I saw, which was, I think the brand was called Reese's, which I didn't even like put the two together when I said that I eat Reese's every night. At that time, I was reading up on worms, and it said that basically like they thrive on sugar, and whatever you crave every night is what they love and what they thrive on. So I was eating Reese's every night, which was like basically feeding this worm worms, allowing them to thrive inside of me. So there you go. Look at the toilet and there's something in there.
So you guys probably remember me from that last video. So that was just the result of a 3-day fast. But when I tell you I was shooketh when I saw what I saw in the toilet, I was shooketh. After that, I learned that up to 100 of them could be living and thriving inside of your intestines. So when Paragard reached out and asked me to try their product, I was like, hell yeah, brother. If what happened in the bathroom that day happened solely from fasting, I cannot imagine what's going to happen when I take something that's actually meant to cleanse my system out. So stay tuned.
Okay, so I think I'm on like day 7 of the Paragard cleanse, but I just wanted to give you guys a little update because I know a lot of you guys are curious after my history with worms, if you know what I'm saying. So I haven't noticed like worms coming out of my ears or anything of that nature, though low-key kind of wish that would happen because my algorithm be tripping lately. But I have noticed some other changes, and one of them you see right here, my skin. She is glowing. She is giving flawless. And of course I am wearing makeup, you know, but however, I am like an adult acne person. Another thing that has improved for me is my brain fog. After I got COVID, I feel like my brain just went crazy. And now over the last like 3 or 4 days, I feel like I'm just so much more clear-headed. I'm really not expecting worms to be like crawling out of every crevice of my body for this. Like though worms are known to thrive inside of my body, I'm not expecting that to happen for this. I really have just heard that it helps with like sugar cravings, and I have a sugar addiction.
As sad as this is to say, I think that Jessica was the perfect target for these quack health influencers online. She's openly talked about her struggle with parosmia, which makes everything smell and taste terrible. She stated in a video that she tried doing a several-day-long fast to see if this would help cure her parosmia, after which she got diarrhea and spotted what she thought was a parasite in her stool. So the root of this deworming journey started with her trying to cure something. At the very least, I didn't see her claiming online that deworming might cure parosmia, but the fact that she was sharing taking deworming products and encouraging others to do the same is absolutely concerning. So this obviously is where the controversy kicks in. A TikTok creator named Plague_Doctress, who I'll just call Plague Doctress in this video because it's easier, posts videos about these deworming scams, and she responded to a comment by Jessica talking about her fast and quote-unquote ropeworm that she thought she saw, debunking the now popular idea that ropeworms are just chilling in your intestines. So I'll play that video here for you.
Hey, okay, so let's talk about this video quickly. This is the creator, the video she posted. She's encouraging everyone to look up ropeworms. She says that they are debated within science. Some scientists seem to think they are a new species of parasitic worms, and some scientists believe that they are intestinal lining, which is not accurate. It's not true because most scientists agree that ropeworm is a pseudoscientific term to describe the intestinal lining that you shit out when you have a colonic enema or you are otherwise damaging your intestines in some way. I did some searching. I cannot find any robust peer-reviewed study that proves that ropeworms are anything more than the lining of your intestines. I found a 2021 study out of Kuwait that cites, according to some scientists, there are parasitic worms due to the presence of human DNA. You know what also contains human DNA? Human tissue. I looked at that study that they cited where they're mentioning scientists think that it's a parasite because it contains human DNA. Not true. That study says that they did not even get enough evidence to identify the species. The data collected is not sufficient to identify the species. They also mentioned in this Kuwait study that they had patients treated at their clinic with anti-parasitic drugs several times, and the only thing that helped was an enema. That's because it's intestinal lining. If it was a parasite, the anti-parasitic drugs would have taken care of it. More than likely it would have been taken care of. The only other people on the internet I see purporting this as true are folks who financially benefit from you believing that you have parasites, but you're asymptomatic and should buy their product in order to get rid of their parasites. People who run colonic clinics, people who are selling enemas, etc. It's pretty crazy how most of the time people don't realize they have these worms until they have an enema. Regarding the placebo effect, I would assume that even if you weren't thinking that fasting would improve your chronic illness conditions, you took those steps to fast because you thought it would benefit your body in some way. So you're already primed for a confirmation bias toward positive results. Anyone would be. I'm not saying that you are like faulty in some way. Everyone has biases. Not only that, but you are thinking potentially you just passed a gigantic, disgusting parasite. The endorphins resulting from you believing that you just passed potentially a disgusting parasite could contribute to the overall improvement of very generalized symptoms like malaise or brain fog. I'm not saying for sure that you're faking it or that this is the result of a placebo effect or whatever, but I'm just letting you know that you were primed for a placebo effect to take place. Anyone would be in that situation if they had thought that they just passed a potential parasite and they've already taken these steps that they think may improve their health or functioning overall. It's not because you're defective in some way, it just is how bias works. But yeah, ropeworms are very likely just your intestinal lining.
I think that Plague Doctors was quite nice in this video. To me, it was clear that she was just trying to explain to Jessica that she didn't need to worry about having parasites and that ropeworms aren't actual parasites, but actually the intestinal lining or the intestinal mucus being shed. Despite this relatively polite and kind response to her comment, Jessica continued to post deworming content, which understandably pissed off Plague Doctors, who made a second video about this situation.
All right, Jessica, the kid gloves are coming off, so buckle the fuck up. I was super nice to you and patient in my last response to you where I explained why this is pseudoscience, why you're incorrect, and how you were primed for a confirmation bias. I was very kind and very patient in that video. This video is not going to be that. I like the anti-MLM community online because in case you didn't know this about me, I fucking hate grifters and scammers. And I know that you've built a pretty large online platform on the premise of being anti-MLM. The irony of this entire situation is not lost on me. The fact that you made it to the top of a pyramid in a bunk bullshit health and wellness pyramid scheme by making false claims about people's health and harming who knows how many people along the way. No matter how much anti-MLM content you make now, you'll never change that, right? You probably irreparably damaged many people's lives. That just is how it is. That's just the fact of the matter. So I don't understand why you can apply skepticism to pyramid schemes and MLM business models, but you still can't seem to apply any iota of skepticism to health claims being made on the internet. I don't understand this level of cognitive dissonance, and it shows me that you truly did not learn any lesson from getting out of that pyramid scheme. And I think you're just riding the coattails of the MLM movement because you found a niche and you want to exploit it and make money, just like you've exploited other people to make money in the past in a pyramid scheme. I think you're a crappy person, to be honest, and you know that this could damage people's health and at very worst could kill people, and you're continuing to do it because you don't give a fuck. Get your head out of your ass.
So while I don't completely agree with all of her sentiments in that video, I totally understand her frustration, and I absolutely agree that I don't understand how Jessica can apply criticism and critical thinking when it comes to multi-level marketing, but not for weird health claims online. Like, to me, to be honest, that doesn't make any sense to me, and I find it really odd that Jessica didn't take a step back after the original video was posted to rethink what she was promoting. That doesn't make a lot of sense to me. And I suppose that it's possible that she didn't see that video, but I have a feeling that she probably did. I mean, it was a response to a comment that she made. I would assume that even though she is a relatively popular creator on TikTok, she would still get a notification that somebody responded to her comment with a video. I don't know. Also, Brianna Jewel here on YouTube made a video about this situation, and since this was the first video that I saw about this situation on YouTube, I want to give her proper credit, so I'll link it in the description. And as far as I can tell, the first video in this community discussing the situation on YouTube was by dietitian Kat Benson, which this video was made in mid-January, so I am very late to the game, and I'll be linking her video in the description as well, again, just to give proper credit. So here is where I stand on this situation. There's a point where somebody can be both a victim of something and a perpetrator of that thing at the same time. I do believe initially that Jessica was the victim of pseudoscience after an admittedly weird experience after her fast. Why she didn't go to a doctor instead trusted randos on TikTok is beyond me, but I don't know where her mind was at that point. However, she became the perpetrator of these dangerous claims when she started to promote them on a platform where she has nearly 500,000 followers. When your audience is so large, you would hope that a creator has the sense to research a product before promoting it as a solution for various ailments, but alas, here we are. She announced her departure from the anti-MLM community with a post on her YouTube community page, which reads as follows. With a heavy heart, I'm here to announce that today's video will be my last anti-MLM video. When I started sharing my story 2 years ago, I did so with the intent that my former teammates and customers would know the truth. I didn't expect to have much support, but I am forever grateful for all of the love and support most of you had showed me. You've picked me up while I'm down, made me laugh, showed me I'm not alone, and truly have been right alongside me as I navigated these past 2 years of misery. I could never thank you enough for that. With that being said, I have a family that I need to be mentally sound for, and this community has turned extremely toxic over the last year. It's not fair to myself or my family to continue subjecting myself to the public criticism when I'm not mentally strong enough to handle it. It's quite clear to many of us how things have become more about views than actual advocacy and consumer protection. The recent videos that have been made about me in an effort to quote-unquote protect consumers were extremely unexpected and truly disheartening. I didn't receive a message from any of the individuals involved in the making of any of the videos, nor do I have any of them blocked on here, which has been claimed. I didn't see anything about that, but okay, I'll take her word for it, I guess. Which tells me that it was never really about consumer protection. Protecting consumers from something you think is harmful would mean the ultimate goal is to get the harmful content taken down in order to prevent more harmful information from being spread. A more productive way to get content taken down would likely be to speak to the person about it directly, educating them on the misinformation. Maybe they didn't know. If you acknowledge that something was likely done out of desperation, not ill intentions, and you still choose to publicly expose them for it, you're a bully and more concerned about the views, in my opinion. Here's the thing though. Plague Doctress did exactly what she wants people to do by replying to her comment and educating her directly, yet she still went and posted more deworming content. Like I said before, it's possible that Jessica simply didn't see this response, but if that's the case, then how does she expect to see other polite and kind people's comments or DMs if she doesn't even bother to look? Anyway, she continues. I've been open about my mental health over the last 2 years, and many of you know I've been struggling, but very few of you know just how bad I've been struggling. However, seeing some people who do know to what extent I've been struggling still choosing to encourage public conversations like these videos being made about me instead of encouraging private conversations with me human to human is a real kick in the chest. If I was someone who is accepting a bunch of brand deals from sketchy companies and making boatloads of money off of manipulating my following into buying them, I might understand the public humiliation, but I'm not. I've had 3 paid brand deals in the last 2 years, all with brands that I truly believed in. No piece of content I've ever made has been with ill intentions, but I'm a human and I make mistakes, so I'm sorry to anyone my content has ever hurt. While I do acknowledge that getting into drama online can be a huge stressor and can really cause people to struggle, someone in this community spreading pseudoscience is something that needs to be addressed. Should the people she mentioned in this bit have reached out to her privately? Probably yes, but we don't know for sure whether they did or not. And also, she never named names, so we don't know who exactly she's referencing. I highly doubt that it's Plague Doctress. It might be Brianna Jewell or Kat Benson, but I didn't see on any of their socials that they knew Jessica Hickson personally. That's not what it seemed like in either of their videos, so I'm not sure who exactly she's talking about here. And also, if she's truly sorry for making harmful content, why are her deworming videos still up on her TikTok? Or at least they were when this video was made. The only videos about her deworming journey that she seemed to have deleted, since I couldn't find them, were her posts with the gifted products, so it doesn't seem like she's all that sorry for spreading this false information. This apology seems more like placating her audience than admitting to any actual wrongdoing. For the longest time, I've pushed through sacrificing my own mental health because I know the message is important and my perspective is unique. But there comes a point when you have to start fighting for yourself instead of only worrying about protecting other people, and for me that time is now. As publicly self-proclaimed mental health advocates, I hope some of these women start to think twice before posting something about someone they know is struggling without getting their side of the story, especially someone who has always stayed in her own lane and never initiated or engaged with conflict with them. After all, my kids are the only reason I'm here today, and some of the people choosing to speak openly about this were well aware of that. Well, I guess we somewhat have Jessica's side of the story based off of this post. She's probably not doing well mentally at the moment, and for that, I really do empathize. That being said, it seems like she's stuck her head in the sand and is ignoring the actual health concerns that people have over her spreading these dangerous claims about parasites that can cause damage to your intestinal lining. It's really sad to see a creator who's doubtlessly helped a lot of people find courage to leave their MLMs fall victim to scammy health trends. I guess it really does go to show how anyone can be a victim of pseudoscience and how victims can also become perpetrators of false claims like these. Anyways, thank you for sticking to the end of the video. I know it was definitely a long one. I hope you guys have a lovely rest of your day, and I'll hopefully see you in the next video. Peace out.